Snails. How do you feel when I say that word? You get a little anxious and start to worry that your plants will be eaten? That there will be snails everywhere, and you won't even be able to see your fish because snail eggs are everywhere? Or are you more of a person who just lets the snails be and doesn't worry too much about them because you understand that they are a necessary part of the ecosystem and have a job to do? Hi everyone, welcome to our Aquarium Store Depot channel. Today we will cover some species that can help lower the population of snails in your fish tank. Some freshwater snails, like bladder snails, can become a pest in aquariums because they breed so fast that it seems that they will take over. The worst part is that these creatures often sneak into aquariums on plants and decorations without us knowing. One way of managing the snail population in your freshwater aquarium is with snail-eating fish. Some will even eat snail eggs, and that's what this video is all about. Now, before we get started, here's where I ask for a hand on smashing that like button. Smashing the like button lets the YouTube algos know that this video deserves an algorithmic high five, while at the same time encourages me to make more videos just like this one. Before we go to the list of snail-eating fish species, let's first know what type of snails are considered harmful in the aquarium hobby so that you can have proper knowledge before adding any of these snail-eating fish species. Snails are not bad for aquariums. In fact, freshwater snails are great for keeping your aquarium clean and healthy. But let's face it, a snail infestation isn't very appealing, especially if you spend a lot of time designing a stunning display tank. Certain freshwater snails consume even fish eggs and aquarium plants. Not just the snails themselves, but even the snail eggs themselves might be a concern. Not all freshwater aquarium snails are pest snails, of course, and many people keep ornamental snails because they are beautiful and fascinating creatures. Some snails are even excellent algae eaters that really do a great job of keeping a fish tank clean. We have covered the 7 best and the 4 worst snail species in our previous videos, and I must say that these videos are the best resource on YouTube to know what snail species are best and what snails are worst for your freshwater aquariums. So you may watch the snails to keep and snails to avoid video on our channel to learn more about the snail species that are the worst for aquariums. I'll also include links to it in the description and under the I button so you can learn more about which snails are best and which snails are worst for your aquariums. Now, you must have a basic idea of what snails are best and what snails are worst for your aquariums. So without any ado, let's move to our list of snail-eating fish that help you control the number in your fish tank. So the first fish on my list to keep in your snail tank is gonna be the Yoyo Loach. The Yoyo Loach is a great fish to help combat any pest snail infestation. These amazing tropical fish are proven snail eaters and look awesome too. These bottom dwellers get their names from the mesmerizing patterns on their bodies that can literally spell out the word yo-yo. The Yoyo Loach is a medium-sized fish that will be a great option in the medium to large aquariums. Yoyo Loaches are active schooling fish that should be kept in groups of at least 6 to avoid aggression. After the Yoyo Loach, let's learn about our next snail-eating fish, the Pea Puffer. The Pea Puffer is probably the smallest tropical fish that eats snails. These adorable little fish need to feed on tiny snails and other hard-shelled prey to keep their beak-like teeth worn down. Pea Puffers aren't a good choice for a community tank because they can be pretty nippy with their tank mates. If you have a freshwater aquarium with a snail problem, setting up a nano tank for a Pea Puffer could be a great way to dispose of some of your unwanted snails. Let's talk about the next fish species in this list, which are dwarf chain loaches. The dwarf chain loach is one of my favorite freshwater fish for eating tiny snails and snail eggs. These little guys can be pretty pricey, but you only have to look at them to see why. Dwarf chains are very small loaches so that they can be kept in a tank as small as 20 gallons. Like the Yoyo Loach, these snail eaters are shoaling aquarium fish, so be sure to buy at least 6, as any less and you might see some aggression and other destructive behaviors. Now let's learn about our next fish on this list, which are gouramis. Gouramis would not be your first choice when picking a snail-eating fish, but they can help. These beautiful little carnivores are from the same family as the betta fish and eat small snails when they see them. There are many different gouramis in the aquarium hobby, ranging from huge types like the giant gourami all the way down to the tiny sparkling gourami. Dwarf gouramis are an excellent option for most small to medium aquariums, and they come in some awesome color morphs, including flame, honey, powder blue, and red varieties. Let's talk about the Bala Shark, the next fish in our list. Bala sharks are another freshwater fish species that can be very helpful for keeping snail numbers under control. Bala sharks are omnivorous, so they eat snails and other natural food sources that can fit in their mouths. Bala sharks are giant fish, so don't bring one home unless you have a tank of at least 120 gallons. These peaceful fish are also very social pets, so pick up a school of at least 5. After Bala shark, now let's talk about our next species on this list, which is the assassin snail. Think carefully before adding this snail species to your freshwater aquarium. Assassin snails occasionally eat shrimp, so they will not be a good fit if you enjoy keeping these inverts. On average, one assassin snail eats 1 to 3 snails every 1 to 3 days. Of course, this will depend on a few factors, including food availability and the size and appetite of the individual snail. Now, after assassin snails, let's learn about our next fish, which are African cichlids. African cichlids are likely to eat snails. However, this is of little use since African cichlid tanks rarely have plants due to the high water pH. Many African cichlids sometimes eat pest snails, but some species are more reliable than others. A snail crusher hap is a great option if you have a large enough tank, although they are not always easy to find and need to be stocked carefully to avoid aggression with your other fish. Next up, let's learn about our next fish on this list, which are goldfish. Did you know that goldfish love to eat small snails and snail eggs? These classic freshwater aquarium fish are omnivores, which means they'll eat just about anything that will fit in their mouths, snails included. Goldfish are cold water fish, so don't add them to a heated aquarium. These fish do best in cold water tanks, and you can choose from a few great goldfish tank mates. Goldfish can be kept alone too, so don't worry if you don't have room for a large group. Goldfish naturally eat snails that fit comfortably in their jaws. Small snail species and juvenile snails of all kinds are included in this. On the other hand, more giant snails are typically avoided by goldfish since they are challenging to eat. After the goldfish, now let's move on to our next and last fish, which is the zebra loach. The zebra loach is a great snail-eating fish for a community tank. These stripy bottom feeders are an excellent option for smaller aquariums because they do not grow very large. These peaceful fish can be pretty boisterous and might intimidate shy tank mates. When they are not munching on pest snails, you can feed the zebra loach a diet of sinking dried foods, live or frozen foods like mosquito larvae, and even vegetables. Zebra loaches need the company of their species, so make sure you pick up at least 5 or 6. These 9 fish species can help reduce the snail population in your tank. There are 8 more fish species that can do the same, but to keep this video short and on point, I'm only able to explain these 9 fish species. Here are those 8 other snail-eating species. To learn more about these species, you can visit our official blog where we write care guides on each fish species mentioned in this video. Now you might be wondering where to find these fish species for your aquarium. And the simple answer is, most of the snail-eating fish species listed in this video can be found by visiting your local fish store. However, some less common species will be much easier to find online. You can also buy them directly from online stores to get a good discount plus delivery to your home. I will add online store links in the description so that you can easily buy any of these species. If you like this video, we'd appreciate your feedback on which fish on this list is the best at eating snails and any more fish species we may have overlooked. Your recommendations are helpful to our fellow aquarists as well as to us. Your suggestions can help upcoming viewers with more varieties of species to get rid of snail tanks. So please like and comment below with your thoughts. And if you want to support us, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Aquarium Store Depot, where we discuss all the aquarium-related topics and help you thrive in the aquarium hobby. This encourages us to produce more excellent videos like this one to help fish keepers at all levels. If you have any queries or problems related to the aquarium hobby, join our Facebook and Discord groups, where beginner to advanced fish keepers share their personal experiences. I am sure you will also find your solution if you face any fish keeping issues there. Thanks for watching this video.